Hey, what's up, goats? Good morning. Cooking them up. You know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the stream today. I got some coffee here. You know how it is. Although, I don't know. Do you drink coffee? I'm not sure. I feel like we may have talked about it. Maybe not. I got my goal of 90 fishing, which I was pretty happy about. I have a mug of coffee that will cool off quicker, and then I have a thermos of coffee that will take longer to cool down. You understand? You're off today, right? Oh, let me just run over my headset here with my computer chair. What's my SC per sharks cooked per minute? I'm not sure. We could time it. They have something in this game called, I think it's called Rune Metrics, where it does try to keep track of that. But I'm trying not to get into some sort of super efficiency mindset because that will probably ruin some of the fun. So, I cooked up a bunch of, I fished up a bunch of sharks, now I'm gonna cook them. You know? Keeping it simple. Why is my butt on fire? Something really, well, at least I think it's neat happened. We found out that this account is 18.7 years old. So, they have a cape that rewards veterans for 5, 10, and 15 years. So long story short, I went and I got the 15-year veteran cape since I qualified. Pretty sharp looking cape if you ask me, but then there's like a fire effect on the back of it. And there's an emote that comes with it that I've been showing everybody that has inquired somewhat because I think it's pretty cool. I'm usually not too much into cosmetics and emotes and stuff, but I thought this one was cool. Check this out. Hey, welcome back, Bubbly. You're almost to the 20 year? I know. I think the game's 20 years old next year. So on this cape, they have play emote option. So here it is. 10. 15. I'm quite pleased. How's it going today, Bubbly? I woke up a little bit ago, but I'm finally getting to drink some of my coffee here. I finished watching a movie that I started. So I've been up for a little while already. But it's like 2 in the afternoon for you, though, and you just woke up. Partying hard, maybe? Hey, good morning, Survival Lady. Book slap right back at you. Good morning, good morning. Just in time to watch me cook up some sharks. Very exciting. But the good part is that I for sure should be able to get 90 cooking with the amount of sharks I have to cook. You played RuneScape till 6 a.m. Dang, man. Hardcore. What were you doing in the game up till 6 a.m.? Getting ready to go to church. Okay, very nice. Are you going along with your family, I take it? Survival lady, very wholesome in all aspects. Mining and finished archaeology to 99. Hey, congrats, man. Nice job on the 99. My archaeology is level 1. What do you get for training archaeology? Do you make money or do you get items? Someone, it might have been you yesterday, was telling me a little bit about it. I think it was you. Goats also. You'll have to humor me a little bit because I'm very excited, even though I don't think you have ever played this game, so you don't know about it. But I got level 100 combat. Let's see here. Look at that, I'm almost at 1500 total skills also. Too bad you couldn't level up eating as a skill. I'd be level 120 in that, I think. I would like to see the stream where you eat all the sharks. That's funny. The closest thing to that is your constitution. I don't know. That's a stretch. Never mind. Level 100 combat, did I get a cape for that too? I don't think so. I also got a hood for my 15-year veteran. If there's a hood. But I think that my chef's hat, you know, much more fits the occasion here. What's your next goal then, Bubbly, if you finish 99 archaeology? 120 archaeology? $99 mining? Dang, man. Good luck. What's on the plan today, Goats? Anything good? Hopefully some video games if you're off. Very nice. Oh, by the way, thanks for sending me that Master Boot Record album. I like that. That was good. It's very up my alley with the whole computer theme, as you likely are well aware. Oops, I don't want burnt sharks. Really enjoyed the dungeon metal chiptune aesthetic. Yeah. I too enjoy all of that. Yeah, it did look recent. You gonna play on Friends of Folksville server today in Minecraft? Sent me another one? Nice, man. Thank you. It was good music to work to. Defrag EXE is fantastic. I really appreciate the naming scheme. Back when you had to actually worry about defrag, now like Windows 10 and 7 I think did it for you basically. Absolutely. I've been tooling around with computers. Let's see. For almost 25 years. And a lot of the stuff like that is antiquated. But it certainly it certainly brings out a strong sense of nostalgia. That's for sure. With an orange-black monitor? Wow. How did you get that? It wasn't like all the colors the same, that dull white? Oh, okay. It was that old. Word processor and spreadsheet program. I think my grandparents had one of those. I really enjoyed playing around with the spreadsheet program. Which, I don't know why. That was the first time I ever saw the concept of a spreadsheet. And it intrigued me. So I would hide stuff in the spreadsheet. I'd go down to like row AAXW, you know, and then I'd scroll over a couple thousand and put like, hello, I was here typing. You know what else I had a similar experience with was Microsoft Access. It came with some sort of default database, like, on the program, and it was a company of employees and stuff. It was, like, with their pictures, and it was all just fake stuff, you know, as an example. But I didn't know what it was. I thought I found something I shouldn't have when I was tooling around with it. I'm like, what's this database full of people? Hey, what's up, Shiny? Good morning. MS-DOS to move around? Now you're talking, buddy. I recently just put like all the old books and stuff that that came with my first computer into its like own special little box. I don't have the heart to get rid of it. How you doing today, Shining? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Or thanks for hanging for the long haul. Or something in between. I want to tell you guys, I was able to get sounds working again. Check this out. If I type furnace. If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son. Did you guys hear that? Try it out, Shining or Goats, or both. Hey, good morning, Anti-Gamer. Long time no see. Glad to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. Is there a list of sounds? Nope, only one sound so far. However, I've added, as a channel redemption reward thing, the opportunity for everyone to get their own sound if they spend some channel points. If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son. I'm so happy to get the sound command back. We used to have a lot of fun with that back in the days. You guys may recall. Good morning, Anti-Gamer. It's great to see you. I'm having furnace trouble. That's why we made that sound clip, Anti-Gamer. It has been too long. I agree. Last time you were around, well, I kind of didn't stream for a while, but you were watching me play that snake game that we beat. Hey, what's up, Grove? Stand up. Okay. I will. As you see, Grove has found out my new channel redemption things. So, some of them are, like, listed already, you know? So I put some that are good for your body, like stand up and hydrate. Thank you, Grove. I'll take a sip of my seltzer water here. What's up, LPG? Hydrate as well from Zesty. I'll take another sip. Thank you guys for worrying about my hydration. Because I'm also drinking coffee, so I'm counteracting the water I'm drinking by drinking the coffee. Yes, the snake game too fun. How have you been? How was your Thanksgiving, Anti-Gamer? Did you guys have a smaller get-together or something like that? Can bits help with the furnace? Yeah, it can actually, in a roundabout way. What is the custom sound? Too much water is also bad. It's going good, Tamale. Good to see you, man. I'm cooking up some sharks here, as you can see. Every time you've been streaming during the week, I've been working. Yeah, I've been streaming a little earlier than usual. But maybe I'll try one in the evening so that we can maybe see you in the chat more often. Oh, man. I can't say that particular word for like 5 minutes.
Thanks for the tip.
Thank you for the bits, Grove. I can't say that word for like, I guess 5 minutes or something. What is my goal today? My goal is to get 90 in this particular skill that I have highlighted on my screen. Thanks for the bits, Grove. So how does the command work? You just type !furnace. If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son. What does it say? The word ban is... I guess it doesn't really say, does it? For how long? I'm gonna try not to say that word, Goats. Call me out if I mess up. Anti-Gamer says, we had a very small Thanksgiving, no turkey, just son and parents. Oh, that sounds nice, though. Glad to hear that, Anti-Gamer. We also had a smaller meal. How about you, Zesty Tamale? How you doing today, man? Alright, making good progress on these sharks. What's for dinner tonight? Yeah, LPG. I think it's going to be some sort of pasta from Home Chef. That's what's going to be for dinner tonight. How about you? Subway hoagies, I hope. What does get a custom sound mean? It means that you get your own command to put into the chat, and I'll get a sound for it to play when you redeem that. And it will only be for you. You're a fan of Home Chef? It's pretty good. The food is good. Anti-Gamer's unsure what she's making for dinner. What are some options? Well, if you get 10,000 points or 10,000 minutes and redeem it, Grove, I suppose we could, I suppose I could try my best. It would have to be just like a little clip, you know? Like a little segment. Oh, I forgot about my coffee. Thanks for joining me, everyone, today.
Thanks for the tip.
10 bits for me to afford food. Thank you. Oh, the last 10 bits was for the furnace fund. Thank you for that, too. Before Home Chef, I used to think you made pasta by dumping pasta in water and waiting for it to boil. That was an accurate assumption. Your son's picky. He loves pasta, though. Chicken and pork I can make into something. Ground beef, man. Why not make meatballs with all three? I'm still very carefully trying not to say the banned word. Chicken dumplings, ooh. Now, Anti-Gamer, I don't think so far that you've joined us in posting the food that you've made on Twitter, but I know you have a Twitter account. So, my request for you is to post what you make on Twitter. But if you don't want to, that's okay. You have to tag me in it so I can see. She's saying that she would just boil it and it was done. The real way is to boil the water, then put it in. Oh, no. I waited for the water to boil and then put in the pasta. That's always how I... No, I do not. LPG. You don't have a Twitter account? I'm pretty sure that you do. You're following me. Unless I'm very confused here. I was going through my list the other day and I could have sworn I saw your name. I'm looking again right now. Or rather, I'm following you. Or one of the two. Hold on. We're gonna find out what's going on here. Yeah, I'm totally following you on Twitter, Anti-Gamer. Unless I should just take the hint and stop talking about it. I don't know. Excuse me. Did I make a Twitter account? That's funny. Real life detective. All I did was go and see who I'm following on Twitter. That's all. Do you want me to whisper it to you? I'll whisper it to you. I can figure out how. You posted pictures of a Minecraft world a few years ago. hold on. We're gonna. Let's see. Yes, it is. That is the one that I'm seeing. Detective Bobby. What's the plans for today, Grove and LPG? Something good, I hope. I demand to know what you guys will have for food today. More juice? Oh, that's right. Are you on the final stretch? Well, hold on. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to show you. Final juice day? Are you going to survive? She's on, I think, day 3. There's like a monkey or something here. Do you hear that? Wow, check out this monkey. He's not my monkey, though. Unfortunately. Do you know there is a couch? I'm confused because I think you're trying to trick me into saying the word I'm not supposed to. You're doing 7 next time? When is that scheduled for? Alright, Anti-Gamer. So, do I have this right that you have a Twitter account and we're following each other, but you didn't know anything about it? That's funny if so. Alright, Anti-Gamer. Well, if it's a lot of trouble, don't worry about it, but I feel like we uncovered something funny either way. That's really funny, Anti-Gamer. No, I don't want to say it. I hope so, otherwise, if not, that's pretty strange. I don't see how else that could possibly have happened. I need to find out how to get a monkey like that. Fair enough, I guess, Anti-Gamer. Is he still pursuing the YouTube dream? Picture puzzles. Like, what do you mean exactly? You've damped it a bit? Well, it might be the right move. Depending, I'm sure you know best. Are you talking about jigsaw puzzles? LPG, what food are you going to eat once you're off of the diet? Like, what's the first meal going to be? Posture check. Thank you. I'm sitting up straighter now. Thank you for that. I slump like a giant nerd. I will try to maintain this excellent posture now that I've corrected. You're really trying hard, Grove. Steak and enchilada. Ooh. Don't say that. There's this really great Mexican restaurant that's like 45 minutes away, so it's probably too far. But their food's so good. I get something, I'm gonna butcher the name. I get something called Rodeo Paradillo or something like that. It's so good. It has a bunch of onions. Oh, that's really good stuff. The queso fundido. What's that meat that's in it called? I forget. Stardew Valley. Grove, I want you to start playing RuneScape. Chorizo, that's it. Double L's pronounced as a Y. Okay, so maybe it's Rodeo Paradillo. Escape it. Do you know what that is? Are you familiar with the dish Rodeo Paradillo? Wouldn't I need to grind for years? Not necessarily. I mean, it's only really like a competition with yourself. If you're trying to catch up to anybody, then there's no point in starting. But if you just want to play the game, then it's fun. I'm remembering the posture check. I sat back up. What is it? I kind of forget. I thought you'd be familiar. I feel as if you're an imposter. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they named it that. Like, maybe it's like their own name of something. Anyway, it's what I get every time. It's kind of like this. It's like, it comes out, like, on fire. Not really, but, like, steaming, right? And it's like chicken or beef, onions, peppers, probably some other stuff in it that I forget. And then you also get some rice, like a little thing of lettuce and salsa, and tortillas. And you're supposed to put all the junk in the tortilla. It's good. I don't know. Maybe. It's like build your own, I guess. Pretty much Grove, but I really like it. It tastes good. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm doing anything very interesting for food today, so the fact that I'm talking about all this great stuff that I'm not going to have is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I guess so. I'll assume that you're correct. Have you utilized the bedroom nook yet? How was it? Was it everything you imagined? LPG recently, like, put together some kind of nook for reading books. Books. What do you use the mirror for? For looking into? To look at yourself. Why are you so conceited? It's a decorative nook. She's not going to use it. LPG, do you have a retort? He's jealous. Do you have your own nook in any capacity, Grove? Like maybe a computer nook? I think that's what you could call my setup here, a computer nook. The entire downstairs is your nook. It's kind of a weird word, especially for as often as I'm saying it. It's getting weirder every time. Just to keep you guys in the loop, I've now moved to my thermos of coffee as opposed to my mug of coffee. The mug is gone onto the thermos. Oh, there's a nook downstairs. Why do you have multiple nooks? I bet there's most people with 0 nooks, and here you are flexing by having 2. You know how that makes the rest of us feel? Is this my morning routine? Yeah. Instead of a makeup routine or something, this is... Hey guys, welcome to my morning routine video where I'm going to show you everything that I do in the morning to make sure that my RuneScape cooking level approaches 90. That's right. Coffee and sharks every morning. Soon gonna have 90 cooking though, which is pretty sweet. I might even get 91 cooking from all these sharks. And then, ironically, cooking will be my highest skill. I drink kind of too much, but I try to limit the caffeine by how much scoops I put in to brew it. But I basically drink like a pot a day. Now how strong that pot is can vary. I used to do 5 or 6 scoops. That was too brutal. It was not good for me. So I reduced it to 3 scoops. And that was a lot better. But now I've kind of went back to 4 scoops. When I say scoops, they're kind of small, you know. Why did you feel bad? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't put sugar or anything in it. It's just coffee. So that's bad enough, but at least I'm not putting calories into it. No milk. Get that out of here. You don't drink coffee at all, do you, Grove? Because you are not a simple individual when it comes to your culinary preferences. Do you mean to tell me that I'm wrong? That you do not put milk and sugar in your coffee? Am I wrong? Because I'll stand corrected. Only black coffee when you're tired. Oh, yeah. I also like a warm drink in the wintertime. So coffee also fits that bill to a degree. See? I knew I was right. That's why Criddle, who's not here at the moment so I can talk about her, she'll not eat food all day and just drink coffee, but I think it's because she puts a lot of sugar and milk in the coffee, so it's like she's still getting calories, but they're just trash calories. I scolded her about it yesterday, but I don't think she'll take my advice. Trying to train Marley, she's spoiled and thinks she owns everything. She can only go on the couch with permission. Has she done something to have her privileges revoked? Like, how does she act spoiled? Penelope, we started out not letting her on the couch or the bed. And about 2-3 months in, we forgot it all. Because she really was being a good dog. She wasn't giving us any reason to limit her. So we let her do whatever. I buy unsweetened cold brew, put in vanilla creamer. Do you know what is cold brew compared to normally brewing a pot of coffee? Like, how's it different? I get it, one's hot, one's cold, but why brew it cold? I don't get it. Coffee, my mate. Appreciate you guys hanging here and having a bit of a chat. It's making these sharks a little easier. Oh, Grove, I also got a bot going again. And I came up with a new name for it. She fights with other dogs when she thinks they're challenging her. So what? Like if Blue jumps on the couch in a spot she likes, she'll get mad. I think I can say the banned word again. I think enough time has elapsed. So thank you, Goats, for that. All right. I think they soak coffee beans for 12 hours. Wow. Cold brews cold water overnight instead of hot water in just a few minutes. Oh. Cold brew is supposed to be more smooth. Well, I've had it once or twice at like a Starbucks. What's another way you can make coffee? It's like, all right, we tried heat. Now we've tried cold. I have never heard someone describe my culinary taste as more involved. Well, they are. I mean, you'll also not drink a glass of water unless there's a cucumber in it, and then you won't even eat the cucumber. That's pretty high. That's intense. Pour over? What is that? Nitro? What is that? I've heard of that, but I don't know what you do. How are you guys so well versed in coffee when you hardly drink it? Someone in my family likes to use a percolator. I like to watch it bubble. But I don't know why it's any better or worse of a way to make coffee. That I don't know. French press? Yeah, I've seen that one. This person I used to work with, I thought this was a little ridiculous, but this person I used to work with brought in their own mini French press. So they'd like French press a single cup of coffee. And it's like, huh, that seems pretty elaborate. I've had a French press coffee. It's tasty. I'm not saying I don't like it. I do. Well, I hope you can wrangle Marley to be a little more polite. Penelope got that way with toys when she's around other dogs, but then she might be getting a little better. She's not around other dogs very much, though, so it's far and few between. She was throwing a fit. Do you drink coffee, Goats? A bad coffee? Ooh. What makes it bad? Well, good luck with the training. We don't really train Penelope for anything. He mostly just does whatever we want. I mean, unless there's a squirrel or a rabbit involved, then forget it. Tunnel vision. Burning that shark. 60,000 XP until 90 cooking. This was a heck of a lot easier than 90 fishing. She tried to climb on the bed. She's short and heavy. Now she's like a little barrel. You have little steps. Oh. Oh. She tried to climb them anyway. Was she confused when she got to the top and it's like there was no bed there? That's funny. She climbed the stairs to nowhere. He used to take the time, grind his own beans, says Goats here. Get fancy coffees, but for the last few years, I just use a Keurig because I'm lazy, honestly. That's a lot of work, especially for something that you're going to be doing daily. I mean, if it was, like, if you were the type of person that only drank coffee, like, on Saturday or something crazy. Sure, why not? Take the extra time. Whatever, though, you know? There's enough stuff to worry about, so why give yourself more work? You grind the beans, too. Well, la-dee-da. Forgot to bring home coffee yesterday. Ooh, old dried beans. Grind them. Speaking of grinding, I feel like you're slacking on eggs lately, Grove. What gives? Get grinding on eggs instead of grinding those beans. Hehe. Cooking up sharks. Oh, oh. LPG does not play eggs with us. It's like one of those mobile idle games. Yeah, I hear you, Grove. It'd be nice if they had an update released soon. Egg dates. I see what you did there. Recall training would take a while to build up. Yeah, I'm not against it. I have to say, I have to look around to make sure she's not here. I have to say, like, the only kind of recall training that works with her is if I say the word treat. Say, let's get a treat. Then she'll bolt from like a halfway across the world right to the door to go in for a snack. But that's it. It's like a bribe. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, like in case of emergency, I mean, so what? I'll give her a bunch of treats, you know what I mean, if she actually comes back. It's funny though, because she'll hide in the trees, right? And I'd let her go back there, mostly because I can't stop her, because we have a lot of trees. But I don't want her to just hide back there because I don't want her to eat sticks, right? So if she's back there and I can't get her out by calling her name and looking for her, then I'll use the magic word, and then she'll come barreling out of the trees. Barreling out, I say. Hey, LPG and Grove. I've recently had the app called Shudder. Can't remember if it's SH. Anyway, it's a horror movie channel, right? If you guys are looking for more horror movies, I recommend it. It's pretty good. It would be good to overtreat in emergency. Yeah, I hear you. Make her super remember that it was what to do. Cooking up the sharks, oh yeah. Do they have Nightmare on Elm Street? No. They have a bunch of films that I've never really heard of. But I look through them and I pick one that might sound good, and I've enjoyed the ones I've seen so far. I think you could get like a free week trial. Do you have Roku? They are no good to me. I'm surprised you haven't watched those yet. It was a couple weeks ago you wanted to watch those. Usually you guys watch them a lot quicker. Or so it seems. Roku's pretty good. We got one by accident, but I like it. Now that I've been forced to use it. Ba-ba-ba. Hey, if we have anybody that's new to the stream, feel free to say hi. I'm just curious if anyone's here that we haven't really talked to much. I see a couple people's name in chat, but it's tough to know who's real. Or keep lurking, that's fine too. Hey, what's up, Cavis? It's the real me, buddy. No one is real? That's true. I have not yet run a RuneScape rerun, but I have been saving all of my live streams because I find it very funny that I have probably like 15 hours of video footage of me fishing and cooking fish. Good afternoon to you, Cavis. About 4 o'clock for you, maybe? Do do do. Do do do. Open the door. A Japanese spacecraft has successfully returned an asteroid sample to Earth. That's pretty cool. Hopefully no virus is on the asteroid. Got any plans for today, Grove? What if they were good viruses that give us superpowers? Well, if that was the case, that seems fine. I guess the only trouble is you don't know which it's going to be ahead of time. Various house activities. I hear you. I, for one, welcome our new space asteroid virus overlords. That would certainly spice things up. That would be an apropos ending to probably one of the worst years in our lifetime. I like the Simpsons reference, by the way. Reference it. I have 8,000 cooked sharks. That's a lot of sharks. Don't think I'll be short on food anytime soon. Do you have any plans for the Friends of Folksville server to share with me, Goats, that you're up to, other than the pyramid? Although the pyramid is large enough of a project that maybe that's the only one. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. We need a Bobby Eats 8,000 Sharks stream. That would be a pretty big waste of money. But it would be funny, I guess, for the lulz. Like setting $100 bill on fire. Digging's done, planning out what we need and how much currently. Are you putting sand all at the bottom? I thought I had heard you guys say that. Part of the plan. The plan sounds pretty involved if that's just part of the plan. Walls and the glass top. The area will be filled with water. Make an aquarium under the pyramid. Ooh, that sounds very nice. Hey, I feel like I need to tell you about a game, not to take your time away from Minecraft, but I told Mom Divine about this yesterday. And she texted me this morning, well, it was my morning, saying that her and her son already spent 7 hours playing this game. I like games. I saw Not So Dirt, if you remember that gentleman that stops by sometimes. He was playing a game called Vintage Story. And it looked like a... Well, let me use Mom Divine's words. She says it looks like an advanced Minecraft. And she said that she already tried it and loves it. So I just feel like I should at least make sure you're aware of that game. Oh, okay, you are. Very good. Yep. No problem. I didn't expect Mom Divine to take the ball and run with it as far as she did, but I'm glad that she liked it, so it was worth me telling her if she already played 7 hours with her son. Ah, very nice. Good luck with your litigation skills. Yeah, absolutely. Any more thoughts on the streaming? Just out of curiosity. Now that you got your sweet PC. No. But I get it. I won't ask anymore. Fair enough, man. Hey, we got 90 cooking. Woot woot. My third level 90 skill. Pretty pleased about that. Thank you. GG, GG. I really think I could get 91 by the time I'm done these sharks, but let's find out. Yeah, absolutely. The cooking certainly went quicker. I think it's because, like, you either have the ability to cook the shark or burn the shark. That's the only two options. But when you're fishing, you have the chance to miss any fish. So, like the last fish it took for me to get level 90 fishing, I had like 15 failed attempts first, so I guess that's one factor. What did it say though? At level 90, I stopped burning some things. Stop burning monkfish. Stop burning monkfish. Fried mushrooms. I don't know what this is. Stop burning green blubber. And I have the ability to create primal pulp, whatever that is. Do I burn many sharks? Not too many. I think they need level 80 to cook. But I also have something called cooking gauntlets, which reduces your chance of burning anything. So between that, I might only burn anywhere from 0 to 3 in inventory load. I accidentally took the cooking goggles off, or cooking gloves off, cooking gauntlets. And I was burning anywhere from 5 to 8 in an inventory, so the gloves certainly help. What is my favorite kind of pulp? Probably orange juice pulp. When you burn it, does that destroy it, or do you keep burnt sharks? Now, the burnt sharks are useless. So I always drop them. Usually, a lot of items have some purpose, but the burnt food, as far as I know, really is truly no purpose. Just throw it out. Why is it primal pulp? I don't know. I don't know what primal pulp is. Oh, maybe it's primal fruit pulp. But it also requires 90 herb lore, which I do not have, so we will not be making any primal fruit pulp anytime soon. Can't even feed the burnt shark to a dog? I don't think so. Hey, Shadow. Good morning to you. I want my pulp to be primal. I can understand that desire. How's it going, Shadow? It's good to see you. Thanks for coming by to say hello. I'm doing well today, thank you for asking. My nose is a little stuffed up, but other than that, I got some coffee and we're cooking up some sharks here. We got 90 cooking, Shadow, which I'm pretty happy about. So now we're just going to cook up the remainder of the sharks that we have, and we may or may not get 91 cooking from it. We'll find out, I guess. Chilling and feeding the fishes. Very good. Are you still working strange shifts, or did you move to a position that has a better schedule? I think you were kind of telling me about a little while ago. Are you going to do any laundry today, Grove? Laundry? Are you going to launder any textiles? You may launder a few. Good. Full time and a consistent schedule? Hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear that, Shadow. Much better, I imagine, than your getting up at 3 a.m. or whatever early time it always was. Dealing with a lot of people? You mind if I ask what is your position now? Do you deal with a lot of the customers, or? Oh, you didn't mind it? Ah, fair enough. Well, now you know for sure, like you mentioned, since it's full time. You can count on it being consistent, at least, at this point. Dog training. Ooh. Funny how much dog training is just people training. Ah, I see. Yeah. We were just talking about Grove trying to train his bulldog to be less... What's the word? Like, less territorial or something like that, I guess. That's great, Shadow. I'm glad to hear that. Do you have a dog yourself? I know you have fish. How did you become so good at training dogs? Dogs are much easier than people. I bet. Drop that fish. Drop it, drop. Went to Dallas for a week, and there's a curriculum to follow. Ah, very good. Well, it sounds like you like it. Maybe aside from the people, but glad to hear that. Okay. Little book learning never hurt. How's Tuna doing? Bum, 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 bum. That's true. My dog Penelope only goes behind the trees because I gave up trying to stop her. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. A lot of people are seemingly excited for Cyberpunk. I don't know too much about it, but if it's an open world style game, I love those, and I might eventually try it out. The company that's making Cyberpunk I like. I forget their name, but they made some kind of RPG game. And I think they also made City Skylines, if I'm thinking about this correctly. And I like that game too. It's not a perfect game, but I like it. Did you play much City Skylines? I did mostly when it came out. Then a couple months ago, like maybe 2-3 months ago, I started playing again. But then somehow my city save got corrupted, so I just quit. But it's at this point I would play City Skylines over SimCity, you know? I think it's a better city game than SimCity, which is pains me to say that. I mean, in a way, because I love SimCity so much, but I think it's antiquated. My favorite one, my dog stopping eating their kibble. Did you start feeding them table scraps? Ah. Yeah, Grove is correct about time and persistence. Well, I feel like we created a little bit of a monster with Penelope, but not that bad. We do give her human food. But only little bits. And she still eats her normal food, so. But when she starts to cry, then we don't yell at her. But she normally doesn't. I've never given her hot dog, though. That's right, Shadow. I like that saying. I never really heard it quite said like that. Feeding your chihuahua carrots? Should you not eat a chihuahua carrots? Only reward good behavior. Yeah, that's mostly what we're up to. Oh, that's much better than what Penelope does. Carrots are so high in sugar, they're not something to give a dog that is already overweight. Yeah, I gave Penelope some carrots the other day, and I think it was too much sugar. She was acting weird after that. Crunchy carrots, oh yeah. Ice cubes, those are low in calories. Penelope sometimes likes ice cubes, but mostly will just lick it a few times and then walk away from it. So I stopped giving them to her because then I have to like babysit where this ice cube ends up. She'll just let it melt after she's bored with it. She hears the fridge. Do you mean someone at the fridge, or does your fridge make noise? Ah, okay, I got you, Shadow. Yeah, I mean a Chihuahua, like, probably 2 carrots is a whole meal already. My dog is like 55 pounds, so she could eat more than 2 carrots before that's a meal. The ice cube dispenser sound. Okay. Do you dispense a lot of ice cubes? How many ice cubes would you say you dispense in a week? If you had to estimate. 50? 25? More? You know what would be a good idea? We should come up with some way to get an industrial style ice machine but fit it into a normal residential style kitchen. So you have the ability to make an ungodly amount of ice cubes, but it's discreet enough that everyone would not suspect it. An occasional trip? Okay. Doesn't sound like you go too crazy then. Oh, it's a drawer. Is it on the... You have one of those refrigerators where the freezer's on the bottom? Let me ask you this. Do you have a chest freezer? Because I got one last few months, and it's great being able to store a lot more frozen food. An ice... Oh, I see. An ice cube drawer. Okay. What if it was an ice cube Lazy Susan? This would never work. I'd like to see it in action, but it's too crazy. However, if I start thinking of it as a cartoon, then all of a sudden it becomes possible because you could just draw whatever you want. So maybe I should do that. What other house items are you going to do today, Grove, other than laundering some textiles? I pretty much have to straighten up every single room, but I don't know if I'll do any of it. Congratulations. You have obtained a Mimic Kill token while skilling. It has been placed in your bank. A what? I don't know what a Mimic skill token is, but I guess I'm glad that I've got one. I have acquired scalloped potatoes and chicken fingers. Dude, that sounds great. Have you seasoned either of them, or will you be using any sauce? I would probably put some pepper on the scalloped potatoes, maybe some hot sauce, and probably ketchup or barbecue sauce for the chicken fingers. And if I was really throwing caution to the wind and really being irresponsible, I would put salt all over it. Out of pepper? Fair enough. What is my favorite seasoning? You probably already know the answer to that one, Grove. I'd have to say it's garlic powder. What about you? I feel like you use a lot more spices than me because you're well versed in the hot spices. Honey mustard for the fingers. Okay. Today I was feeling strange, so I went for a malt vinegar. Okay. Well, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like a good vinegar on some French fries, that's for sure. That's right. If I'm really getting crazy too, I'll do garlic salt. Even though there's really no reason to ever add salt. Because our modern diet has too much, but that's another topic, I guess. Malt vinegar. You know what I like to do, Goats? I like to get a little Old Bay, a little ketchup, a little malt vinegar, mix it all together. Now you're talking. The ultimate sauce. Get a little garlic powder in there too while you're at it. Pepper too, why not? Heck, even extra salt. The ultimate sauce. Mix some barbecue in there while you're at it. I just got a good idea. We like to use fresh garlic in everything. And we have a masher. Very good. Ultimate sauce. Sriracha's good. I agree. Probably because it has garlic in it. See, I can't use it like ketchup. That's a little too much sriracha. But I do really like it. It's always satisfying to not burn any sharks at all. Sriracha and ketchup. I'll have to try that. I'm not sure if I ever have. I'm up for a good time. Hey, hey, Criddle. Mayo and sriracha together is the ultimate. Ooh. I've never tried that one. Good morning, Criddle. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We all demand the Criddle update. Please alert us of what's going on. Doing well as well. As well as well as well. Thank you for asking. I'm drinking some coffee from a thermos and cooking up some sharks. How was your evening last evening? Did you freeze in a garage? Making sea lanterns? Very nice. Sea lantern it up. Cook one final shark. Sea lanterns are the walls? Ooh. I feel as if that would be very brightly lit. The heater worked well. Okay, good. Goats is making you? Good. Gotta keep Criddle busy to keep her out of trouble. I got 90 fishing and 90 cooking, Criddle. I know you're very excited to know the updates. So now I figure I'll just cook up the rest of the sharks I have. Just because. Oh, I forgot to check out that.
If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son.
Yeah, you know, Criddle, I found out why I was burning so many sharks. I forgot to have my cooking gauntlets on. That helps reduce the chance of burning anything, so I was burning so many because I forgot about that. I accidentally put them in my bank. Anyway, what is this token that I got? Some kind of skill token? I don't know. Jangerberry seed. I have to look for it later, I guess. What's up, Cavis? Bobby's making me want to play this again. Is that good or bad, man? And Criddle, by the way, Goats has pointed out that I figured out, thanks to Perk's suggestion, how to get sounds working again by command.
If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son.
So I added one of the channel rewards is to redeem some points for your own sound. It's good and bad, I believe that. Avis, are you having another great lunch? Well, I guess it's well past lunchtime for you, but another lunch like you had yesterday? Looks so good. I'm still shocked you had all that food in your kitchen. Thought about sending you a picture. I'm always up for getting food pictures. No doubt. Rock soup. Traditional Portuguese dish. DM food pics. What is rock soup? Oh. Is that actually a rock in it? Why is there a rock in it? Wow, the door slammed right in my face. Soup made with potatoes and a large variety of meats, beans, fats, and ooh, chorizo. We were talking about chorizo earlier. I kind of recently, over the last couple of years, got introduced to chorizo after not really knowing or having it much. I really like it now, of course. What's not to like? Did you make the soup? You're like a pretty good cook, man. Blood sausage. Ah, okay. I bet it tastes very, very good. Portuguese rock soup, homemade. My goodness. One could only dream to experience that. At least someone from my position. Okay, Cavis. I hear you, man. Good luck in the dungeon. The only thing I could think of is, like, if there's rocks in it, some kind of very clean rock to, like, heat the soup up or something. Like, make the rock real hot. Throw it in the pot. I don't know. I'm probably way off, but that's what came to my mind. This sounds like Mario RPG or Ocarina of Time music. Yeah, I could see that. Not sure which one's playing right now. Donkey Kong Country water level music. I like it. Mario RPG, a lot of people consider that to be a very good RPG game. I think, did you tell me that too? I've never played it. So many games I'd like to play, I guess. Yeah. It was fun. Like a spaceship sound or something. It's simple as an RPG, but very fun. And now I kind of want to try it. You think the story would hold up today, or was the story good just because you were 20 years younger, or however old it is? Yeah, I should. I have one. I was thinking of making a game request. Another channel reward. A retro game request. What do you guys think about that idea? You like retro games? I too like retro games. That's alright, Grove. I usually just like to go in blind. Figure it out as I go. Or unless you're here in the stream at the time, then I don't mind hearing some tips. Well, I don't think I'm going to get 91 fishing from this, but happy to cook up my sharks. Fair enough. On the non-obvious ones. Did I ever get around to Turtles 4, Turtles in Time? No. I haven't played that game since college. I remember playing it in college. I have a faint recollection that you might have. Have not played that one. In fact, truthfully, I have not played any Turtles games on stream. I love 1, 2, and 3 on Nintendo. I think by the time I got to 4, it was for Super Nintendo, right? I should get on that. Maybe I should make the retro game request a thing on the channel. That would give me a reason to make me definitely try it. Probably would be expensive though, I guess. So still trying to work out reasonable channel stuff. Make it interesting. I got you, Grove. I don't know what's making that song sound, rather. Secret chests. Ooh. Thanks for the info, Grove. I don't know when or if I'll play it. You'll have to request it on a retro game request channel reward. I'll be right back though, guys. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, and I'm gonna run an ad to turn off the pre-rolls while we wait. No, Criddle, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'll have to check it this afternoon. Or on my phone, on the break. I'll be right back though, guys. Hang tight.
If you're having furnace troubles, I feel bad for you, son.
I have returned. Let me load up some sharks here and then I'll check the Discord. Thank you, Criddle. If you're having furnace troubles, I indeed feel bad for you, son. What's the plan for today, Criddle? What are you up to besides making sea lanterns? Or is that your plan for the day? Not sure. Living the dream. In the minty green adobe. Coffee is life. I know. I'm running out of coffee. But I've already drank a pot, so I don't think I should drink any more. I'm also amused that you keep saying meow instead of now. I've noticed that the last couple days. I don't think 91 cooking is going to be the outcome from these sharks, but that's okay. I have so much fish that I probably won't need any food to fight anytime soon. You haven't done a crafting stream in a long time, Criddle. Have you stopped doing your diamond pictures? Haven't diamond painted in a while. Is it just because you're out of them to do? I guess they obviously are not cheap. I don't like the idea of Bobby having 2 shark meals in one day. No? Is that too much shark? Just not into it, right? Meow. What's with this meow stuff? You're crazy. Guess everyone already knew that. I really want Chinese food. I should stop thinking about food. I don't know. I always do it, meow. Can you do me a favor, Criddle? That's right, Bobby. Stop thinking about food and make it a reality. Criddle, the favor is to please continue using meow instead of now indefinitely. I would like you to never stop. Thank you. This is a serious commitment now. I hope you're aware. Goats, what kind of Chinese food do you like the best? I don't know if mine's General Tso's chicken or lo mein. I just don't know. I really like wonton soup. I can commit. Thank you. I appreciate your commitment. Rock soup story time. Yes, tell me why it's called rock soup. Tough questions? I know. I really like roast pork lo mein because the roast pork kind of greases it all up a little bit. And I realize that a lot of Chinese restaurants do things differently. So, the Chinese food where you are versus where I am may be different. But long ago, there was a traveling monk that arrived at a village in search for food and a place to rest. At that time, the lords were supposed to help and take in their house all men of the church. However, they warned the monk this lord would not help because he was very stingy. Poor monk. Just looking for some sustenance. Stingy, yep. Like, he doesn't want to share. It's all for him. Greedy is like... Stingy is kind of like a light form of greedy. Like, I think stingy is a little less offensive than greedy. But I got you so far. Lord's like, nah, monk, GTFO. Yo, what's up, Monet? Miserly, sorry, would be the extreme version of stingy. Okay, look at Monet dropping from the rafters to drop some knowledge. I think miser is a funny word. What's going on, Monet? You get the Christmas lights up? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Monk went away, knocked on the door before the Lord could send him away. He told him he's not looking for a place to sleep or any food, but only some heat and water so he could cook rock soup. Mostly. Good. I got the ornaments. We rather got the ornaments. It was a team effort on the tree. I think our decorations are pretty much done. Criddle, what kind of Christmas decorations will you have? Are you a decorator? And if the answer is no, why not? The Lord was intrigued because he never heard of rock soup. I put a string of lights up. Behind your stream? Or where? The monk grabbed a rock he had on his porch. Started boiling the rock, okay. That's true. Around your window. Okay. No Christmas tree? Good. Glad to see you committing to your new lifelong sacrifice. This rock soup story is kind of making me hungry. Can you take a picture of your window with the lights around it? Which reminds me, I need to look at Discord. Alright, what channel is it in? General? Maybe? No. Clips and pics. There it is. Criddle with the dark purple nail polish. Wow, look at that. Man, Criddle, I didn't know you were so hardcore. The leather jacket on. I didn't know that's the kind of gal you were. Rough and tough. Hanging with a rough crew. From there on, the story repeats itself. Basically, while cooking, the monk keeps moving a spoon. Tasting it, say it's already good. Such a nice soup if it only had a bit of X, Y, and Z, and then that's how he tricks him. I see. So how does the title of rock soup, like, you're not tricking anyone for ingredients, so what makes it rock soup? I see, Criddle. See, I'm a bit of a coward. I never got on... Well, I mean, I've been on motorcycles. I've driven motorcycles, but I don't have one, and I don't want one. I've also ridden, like, ATVs, but I also don't want those either. Too many people I know almost kill themselves or have killed themselves riding them, and I don't think it's worth it. I had a friend that passed away in August from an ATV accident. I realize that's not a motorcycle, but... So, I guess I'm biased because there's several people in my life I wish never rode those things, you know? Never wanted to, but I love it. Well, good. I'm glad. I hope you can stay safe, Criddle. We all need the Criddle to stay safe. It's a specific soup from a province that comes from the story. Oh, I'm sorry. You already told me half those ingredients, Cavis. My bad. Very heavy and fatty. Sounds good, dude. No? But now you are, so something changed. I think Criddle is attracted to the bad boys. Dating multiple people that are into bikes. Ah, fair enough. Renee thought Stone Soup was more of a potluck community coming together at a bad time. Yeah, I bet there's like multiple versions of it. See, Cavis is from Portugal, so I guess he's telling us the Portuguese flavor, I suppose. Renee is from the same country I am. I have lived many lifestyles in my day. Like what? Do you conform to who's around and what they're up to? Even this says more of a trick into sharing than straight helping out the poor. Well, today we learned, I guess, Monet. Yeah, like her emo stage, remember that? I don't remember her emo stage, which I think you're joking. Her goth stage. Finding your way means many. Fair enough, Criddle. Trying a lot of things. Okay. What other lifestyles have you lived? Are you... Does that mean to say you're currently living the biker lifestyle? Not really. Okay. I ride with old men. Is Ian a lot older than you? And his friends? They think they do? Kind of in the mood for some stone soup now. Oh man, lots of sharks. Ah, okay. I got you, Criddle. Ah, I see. Sounds like quite the club. Whew, a lot of sharks, I tell you. I only have 850 to go. I would like to inquire about your keyboard. Sure. What would you like to inquire about it? You're still on the keyboard hunt? Let's start with the basics. Do you have a keyboard? Sure do. I have several keyboards. I'm only using one at a time, usually. Do you have a preference for key type? Well, honestly, I'm kind of not the greatest guy to have a conversation about keyboards with. Because I usually get very used to whatever default keyboard may have come with a computer I've gotten or something. Like this keyboard, for example. It's an Alienware keyboard. At least that's what it says, but it's really just a basic keyboard. It's not mechanical. It works. Someone I used to work with, though, did give me my first mechanical keyboard. But as you may imagine, it's so loud, I don't much use it. Although I do use it on a separate computer, so... With all that said, I'm not sure I'm going to tell you anything interesting about keyboards. Are you looking at a mechanical one yourself, or...? I'm gonna sneeze here soon, I think. Ooh. I had gotten used to the laptop keyboard, slim, quiet. Yeah. Hold on. Excuse me. Scissor switch? I've never heard that term. I still feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. Sorry. So you're looking to get that same slim feeling? And that slim feeling is called a scissor switch? Do I have that right? Today I learned along with you, fine sir. What kind of keyboard does Criddle have? Can she input into this conversation? I'm sure you've talked to her about it, though. Razor. Fair enough. I've never been a big peripherals guy. Oh, you got a mechanical one, Criddle? Cherry Browns. Is that what you're rocking, Monet? Fair enough. I want to say the ones I have are red. No, actually, you know what? I think mine are blue. But the keyboard lights up red, so I mix it up half the time. Yep, this is in-game music. Crom. Is that a keyboard brand, or... Do you like the music, Goats? Looks Crom sponsored. It's funny. befitting of the scenery. Yeah, I think it's playing like fishing style songs because I'm in the fishing guild. I've never heard of that company. Maybe is it just in Europe? Maybe. Rom. Rom is one of the gods in the Age of Age of Conan. Conan the Barbarian universe. That's what. That's what that reminds me. But I think it's spelled with a C. Completely unrelated. What's up, Ty the Fry? Why don't you cook shards, World 84 Lumbridge? Yeah, someone mentioned that to me. I haven't checked it out yet, Ty. I probably should, but I guess I just like cooking in the fishing guild. I'm trying not to get too worried about the most efficient XP. It does sound good not having to move. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I only have a couple hundred sharks left, so I'll probably just finish it up here, but I do appreciate the info. I didn't know about the shards cooking until just yesterday. I'm kind of, not the most knowledgeable, as you might tell. But thanks for stopping by, Ty. Ty the Fry. Hey, what's up, Skunky? What's going on, man? Weekend full of raiding? Nice, man. Yeah, I saw your streams, buddy. Looks like you are having fun. I'm doing pretty good today, Skunky. Thanks for asking, man. It's a bummer that it's Sunday, but it's not the worst, I guess. Shining hates winter. What's going on, Shining? Do you guys have snow where you're at already? No snow here, currently. Nice, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying Classic WoW as much as you are. You got snow earlier this week? Did it melt, though? Yikes. Doesn't sound too fun, Shining. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can get out of the wet clothes. This will be the snow that will stay. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Like the snow that Is gonna lay there all winter. I don't really want it to happen, but I'm just waiting for it because it's probably inevitable. Ah, good, Shining. Are you in a camper? Yeah, Skunky, I love it. I didn't realize you're in a camper, Shining. Are you, like, working from the road, or what? Well, I don't know if that's good or bad, Shining, but it sounds kind of extreme. Is it just you in the camper? At least you can work from there. Ah, okay. Yeah, how about it, Shining? That's great that you can work from there. It's funny to me that I'm realizing how many Dota 2 heroes are just variations of WoW bosses. Which I guess makes sense since it came from Warcraft and all that, but still. $550 to go. Man, oh man. I think 91 cooking ain't gonna happen, unfortunately, with this load of sharks, but that's alright. I feel like cooking all the sharks I have is the right thing to do. Applying some sort of weird, non-existent moral system to RuneScape. Well, I fished them up, I may as well cook them. That's cooking XP just sitting in your bank. Does cooking them increase the potential sell price? Strangely enough, it often actually... Now, to be fair, I had not checked. But, in my experience, it's actually the opposite. That raw fish sometimes sell more than cooked, because people want the cooking XP for themselves. But I don't know if that's still the way it is. Depends on the market, I suppose. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too caught up in maximum efficiency because once I start doing that, it almost becomes like a job instead of a game. I've ruined other games like that because I've tried to be too efficient and then it became not fun. Yep. So what you up to today, Skunky? Just more classic WoW? Very nice, man. Gonna stream any of it today? I like when Skunky gets into an MMO. Been kind of weird lately with the DMCA. Oh yeah, that's right. You got those Taylor Swift songs and stuff, huh? Yeah. I mean, I guess it's I don't know. Perk said this to me, and it's probably true. It's like it only will get you in trouble if people report you or if you're a bigger streamer. And he was playing songs the other day on one of his streams, so you're probably fine. However, you wouldn't want something that you know full well about to eventually come back to bite you. So I've taken, as I often do for better or worse, the side of caution in the sense that I kind of like uploading some stuff to YouTube too, so I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to get copyright trouble on Twitch or YouTube, you know? So I guess I'm fine with just not playing songs. It was fun while it lasted, you know? I mean, for years we played songs. Yeah, exactly. I don't either. And in a way, it actually kind of makes things a little easier, because now I don't have to be worrying about music, you know? So, I don't know. Oh, really, Cavis? Bach and Mozart? Dude, that's funny. Are they public domain? They must be. Fair enough, man. Rating Nax with classical music sounds really good. I believe it. There you go. I was talking to some guy at work about software that you can use for that. Oh, come on, Skunky. You never know till you try, man. Get a Bandcamp account. See, there you go. You could have been making music this whole time, buddy. Well, I hope you can get over your fear, man, if it's something you'd like to do. Better to try and fail than to never try at all, my friend. Hey, what's up, Nate Dogg? Good afternoon to you. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Hope you had a good weekend so far. I like your snowflake icon you got there, by the way, Nate. From 2018. Well, guys, that is actually all the time I have today. Thank you very much for hanging around and sticking here with me while we cooked up sharks for almost 3 hours. I started this stream with 3,000 sharks to cook, and I'm now down to only 241. So we almost got to the end, but lunch is about ready here, so I gotta get going. Bobby needs to go get a ladder and hang some lights. No, not yet, luckily. Thanks, Goats. You too, man. Nate, thanks for coming by. For anyone that's interested, I am assembling a summary of the projects I'm up to at this website. If you're interested in following me on those mediums, please feel free. If not, though, I'll see you next time, either way. So, have a good rest of your Sunday, guys. That's it for now. Peace. Rid of that burnt shark.